and welcome back to 27 Fox Place. I'm working in the bedroom again today, and if you've been following my channel, then you may have noticed that I've been decluttering and organizing my wardrobe. And today I wanted to finish up in the bedroom by organizing the linens and the nightstands. So I'm going to start with the sheets. I need a space to work, so I thought it would be a good time to strip the sheets. And while the sheets are in the wash, I can get to work on organizing. These are the baskets that I'm going to be using for this project today, and I found the baskets at Costco a few years ago, and I've been using the lined baskets in the closet, but I think they will work much better in this cabinet to organize all the linens. We've been storing the internet equipment in this cabinet and not much of anything else. I wanted to give this cabinet a purpose instead of a missed opportunity. I considered using this cabinet to display accessories like jewelry and handbags, but I thought it might be more practical to turn it into a linen closet instead. The biggest obstacle I have in this cabinet is the Wi-Fi equipment that we keep in here, but I think I finally found a solution that will improve the appearance of the cabinet and make it easier to access the equipment. If you're trying to hide electrical equipment, the first consideration is airflow. These devices generate quite a bit of heat, and they need proper ventilation to keep the components from overheating and causing problems. This furniture needs to be oiled to keep it from drying out, so once the cabinet was empty, I used lemon oil and a cotton cloth to clean the inside of the cabinet. And I keep a cotton cloth soaked with lemon oil in this plastic case that I use just to clean the bedroom furniture. My plan was to use this basket to keep everything together, but I wanted to make sure that there was enough room for everything to lay flat without overlapping. So once I was sure my plan would work, I could plug everything back in. I've had these baskets for several years, but I could never figure out what to do with them. And that's not always the best way to choose an organizer, but they fit this space so perfectly that I was determined to put them to good use. And this basket seems to be the perfect solution to make this cabinet look better and also make it easier to access the equipment. I'm using a damp microfiber cloth to wipe down all the components as I put them back together. You might be thinking that I'm a whiz with electronics, but the truth is I have labels on all the cords so that I know how to reconnect them. And without the labels, I'm not sure how long it would take me to plug everything back in. Once I had everything back in the cabinet, I could finish reorganizing the rest, so I took a few minutes to determine the best placement for the baskets before I started to fill them up again. These smaller baskets turned out to be the perfect size for washcloths and hand towels, but they didn't fit in the cabinet, so I ended up putting them in the closet, and because I reach for them every day, they'll be easier to get to. I have two sheet sets that I'm going to keep together in this one basket, and I have one that I only use in the winter, and then another set so that I can alternate the color once in a while. The sheet sets come with 4 pillowcases, and since I only use 2 of them, I'm going to keep the extras together in this pouch. And to keep them from smelling musty, I'll add a dryer sheet in between. That way, they'll smell fresh the next time I need them. I decided it would be better to put the bath towels on the top shelf and to move the quilts down so that I could keep all the bed linens together. I also ended up having to refold a few things like these hand towels so that they would fit better in the baskets. And of course, no organizing project is ever complete without labels. I've had this label maker for so long it's hard to find the labels for it, and I would love to have a Cricut, but I'll keep using this one until the labels are all gone. And I don't really need to label these bins. I'm in and out of them so often that I know exactly what's in them, but my husband doesn't. So I'm going to add the labels so that he can find what he needs when I'm not around. I'm so happy with the way this cabinet turned out, and with all the electronics hidden away, it's an entirely different experience when I open these doors now. This nightstand is probably the closest thing that I have to a junk drawer. I keep putting things in here that I don't know what to do with, but there are some things that I need to keep in here, like the remotes, and some things that I would like to add so that I can have them at my fingertips. So I'm going to empty out the entire nightstand and start over again. I've had this empty box sitting on my nightstand, and it's the perfect size to store the coin wrappers, so I'm going to keep them in here until I can think of something better. But at least I can free up some space in the drawer for some more important things. There's not a lot that I need to keep in these drawers, but I'm going to add a few things. I'm going to add a package of tissues and some lens cleaners. I use them to clean the screens on my devices, so that will be nice to have handy if I need them. I spent a few minutes rearranging the contents, trying to decide if I needed an organizer in this drawer and what type of organizer I would need. And as you'll see, I did find an organizer in the house that worked perfectly in this drawer. I've had these baskets floating around the house for years, and I've never found the perfect place for them until now. These two baskets fit this space perfectly, so I'm going to keep a cord organizer that we use for travel in one of them, and I'll leave the other empty for things like books. I have some organizers that might work in this drawer, but I wasn't able to find them. So I stole this organizer from another drawer so that I could get an idea of what type of organizer I should look for. And I'll leave it here until I find something better to fit this space. But for now, it's perfect to hold the things that I want to keep in here, like room spray, tissues, and lens cleaner. I'm going to keep a flashlight in this middle drawer for emergencies, along with a container that has parts for the furniture. And everything else is either going in the trash or it's going to find a new home. It seems a little strange to have empty drawers, and I might try using these drawers to store travel items, but until I come up with a good use for them, I'm just going to leave them empty. Now that I have everything put away, I'm going to put the sheets back on the bed before I finish cleaning the rest of the bedroom. The bedroom is due for a zone cleaning, but because of the extra time I've spent organizing this room, I won't be able to get to everything that I have on my list. So there's a few things that'll have to wait until the next zone cleaning. And since I've already started cleaning the furniture, I'm just going to finish that up today. The cotton cloth I'm using for the furniture is saturated with plenty of oil, so that's all I'll need to wipe down the furniture today. And I'll use a damp microfiber cloth on everything else.
I've got something to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time for your feelings, but you have to admit I already do. Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell ya, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. No, oh, oh, oh. And I ain't never gonna stop. Come on. Listen to me. I've tried so many times to tell you this is as good as I can be. Why isn't it enough to be faithful and also be the hit of the party? Let's just break it down to you and me uptown, dancing all around till the disco ball pops. But I have to be me, and everyone can see your anger is misplaced. And I'm gonna tell ya, don't hate me 'cause I get attention. Don't turn me into what I'm not. I have to be me 24/7, and I ain't never gonna stop. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Never gonna stop. No, no.
I'm using 2 microfiber cloths to clean the glass surfaces. One is damp to remove the dirt, and the other one is dry to remove the water spots.
No, no. Oh, I ain't never gonna stop. I ain't never gonna stop now, baby. Never gonna stop now, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. I ain't never gonna stop now, baby. Ooh. Never gonna stop now, baby.
Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
That's all for today, and if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, be sure and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video. If you're not receiving notifications, you may need to turn on the notifications in your device settings as well. So I'll say goodbye for now, and I hope to see you next time.